All right, everybody, welcome to Wednesday evening yoga class with me. If you have a yoga mat, you can grab that. Otherwise, just some space on your floor would be great. Hi, Sally.
Hi.
Joining everyone. We're just getting started. If you have a mat or some space to practice, if you do have a yoga block and want to use that, feel free to grab it. Also, if you have sensitive knees or any knee pain, you can use a blanket. That will be helpful as well. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see me. But we'll get started with a seated pose. Any seat that you'd like to take. Coming all the way down to your mats. You can cross the legs in front of you. You can have the legs out nice and long, bending the knees. You can sit up against the wall if you'd like, maybe with the legs in front of you, or you can cross them. Find a comfortable spot for you, and each time that you practice or each time that you sit, it might look a little bit different. That's okay. Place the palms down onto the knees, and then gently close the eyelids here, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, and then just noticing the face, seeing if there's any tension. Releasing, erasing any expression that you might have, and just checking in with the body, the mind, and the breath, seeing where you're at, no judgment. Begin to tilt the tailbone down towards your mat. Sit up nice and tall, relaxing the knees. And we'll tune into a two-part breath. So breathing in through the nose, fill up the lungs with air. Exhale, release all the way out. Again, inhale, big breath through the nose. Exhale, release. And again, inhale, full breath here. And exhale all the way out. So continue with your two-part breath. And then on your inhale, see if you can focus on breathing from the belly, filling up the sides of the ribs with air. And then exhale, squeeze the belly in, let all the air out. Right? Continue that breath. This gives us a little bit deeper connection with the body and the breath, allowing the mind to be a little bit more still. If you have any busyness, any worries, any fears, any distractions that are plaguing you or that kind of knock on the door during your practice or throughout your day, just acknowledge those things and then refocus your attention back to your breathing. Refocus to where your body's at. You can feel the fingertips down on your legs. You can feel the feet maybe on the ground. Just reconnecting with your senses in that way. Just noticing the stillness in the breath and the body here. And then on your next inhale, we'll interlace the fingers. Press the palms all the way long up overhead. Reaching the palms towards the sky and relax the shoulders away from the ears. Strengthening, lengthening that spine. We'll do some poses today that focus on that lower back, also middle and upper, just to give us a full stretch. Any of you that have been sitting at home or have had long conference calls and chairs, you might feel a little sore, so we'll focus on that today. Now take your arms over to the left side. Feel that side body stretch here. Stay for a full breath, coming back to center and over towards your left. Come back to center. Release the palms all the way down to the floor. Press the fingertips into the mat. Sit up tall, shoulders squeeze back. And then take the head and neck, drop it over to the left side. Probably feel a nice stretch down the back of the neck, shoulders. Come back to center and drop the head and neck over to the right. Come back to center here. Open up the eyes if you haven't already. You can touch the shoulders here or just do a couple shoulder circles. Bring the shoulders up to your ears and back. Go a couple times here. Drawing circles with those elbows up and back. I love the little prompts at the bottom, Tina. Those are awesome. Thank you. And go the opposite direction with the shoulder circles. Now bring them forward. Rolling them here. Good, and come back to center, release the hands. We'll come all the way down to your mat now, or to the floor, placing the knees directly underneath the hips. The palms will go right underneath the shoulder blades. Spread your fingers here, gives you a little bit extra balance, a little wider base. And we'll start with a couple cat-cow poses. So cat stretch and cow, dropping the belly down, shoulders back, scoop through on your inhale. Exhale, round the spine, look down towards your toes. Inhale, lengthen all the way out. Exhale, rounding. Really tuck the head there. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, round. And continue here at your own pace. If you want to incorporate any different movements into it, you can. This is kind of a free-for-all pose. You can move side to side. You can release the hips all the way back, lengthening the arms, or even walking the arms forward. You can drop the hips down. If you want to tuck an arm underneath, see what feels good for your body. Just listening to the body. And then remember, too, you're not being recorded. It's just me right now, so feel free to express your body, move how you need to. We'll finish another full breath here. Coming back to center and turning the toes. We'll press into a downward facing dog. So lifting the hips up towards the sky. And if down dog isn't for you, you can stay on the knees, come to forearms. Or you can also come to forearms and lift the hips that way. So a couple different options for you. If you're in your downward facing dog with hips lifted up, start to bend out the legs here, bending the knees left and right, and really tucking the head down between the arms. Good. Pressing the heels close to the mat. And then looking up to the front of your mat, step your way for a forward fold. So now in your forward fold, you can bend your knees. If your palms don't quite reach the ground, that's okay. You can use a tall book or your block that gives you a little bit extra height. And then drop the head down. Shake it out left and right here. Shake out the neck and head up and down. Continue tucking the belly in. Lift the tailbone up. Lets you let fall down a little bit closer, a little bit deeper bend. And now on your next inhale, straighten out the legs. And press yourself up into a halfway lift. You can use the legs here, just avoiding the knees, or you can use your block. Release the head down. Inhale, halfway lift up. Nice flat back. Exhale, release. And inhale, rise. Bring the arms up overhead. And palms together, heart center. Great, we'll go into our first warrior pose. So stepping your right leg all the way back, nice wide stance, line up the heels, and then turn the hips to the front of your mat, scooping the arms up for an inhale, and then sinking down in the hips. Notice how my left leg bends just a little bit here, warrior one. So your options here in warrior one, palms can be together, heart center, or hands can be on hips. If you are practicing from a chair, you can adapt, modify all these poses as necessary. Take one more breath here. Keep lifting the chest forward. Good. Release the arms up and overhead. Press down, down dog. Good. Your option here in down dog is just to go into your forward fold as well, if this doesn't feel comfortable for you. Now take a full breath here. Inhaling and exhaling all the way out. Looking forward, front of your mat. Step your way forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale down and inhale, rise. Arms overhead and palms together, heart center. We'll do warrior one, opposite side. So if you did your right leg back the first time, step that left leg back, rounding the pinky toes, turn the hips to the front of your mat, reaching the chest forward, arms up or palms together, or hands on hips, wherever you're at, and bending just gently in that right leg. Good, keep reaching here, so grounding through the feet, reaching through the fingertips. Good, take one more full breath. And scooping the arms forward, pressing them down on the mat. Step back into your down dog or forward fold. Good. We'll come down onto our mats now, onto your knees again, similar to that tabletop pose, but going into a tiger pose. So this one really lengthens the spine, gets into that lower back. Taking that right leg, we'll bend it back, keep the knee bent here, and push the foot up towards the sky. Now the trick is trying to keep that back flat. So if you feel yourself falling over or twisting, try to remain neutral back here. Good. You can push the foot up, push the heel into the sky, ceiling a little bit more if you want a bigger stretch. And then we're going to round the spine, draw the knee to the nose. So on your inhale, push the foot up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, round, and draw the knee in. Great. Keep lifting here. Inhale. Exhale, and one more. Reach up. Exhale, and back down. That one requires a lot of balance too, so with practice, we'll get it, right? We'll go the other side. So left leg back this time, nice flat back. Push the heel up towards the sky a little bit. Tiger pose, we're gonna hold it here. Engage the core, that will help with your balance. So tighten the belly. Good, keep pushing the heel up. And then on your exhale, round the spine, draw the knee in close. Inhale, push up and lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, push up. Exhale, and last time, pushing that leg all the way up. Rounding the spine and release. Great. Turning the toes, press into a down dog, look forward and step forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale down. Inhale, rise, arms overhead and palms together. Did our warrior one pose, going into our warrior two. So stepping that right leg back, nice wide stance, maybe a little bit wider than your warrior one. This time, we're going to keep our hips almost neutral or to the side of our mat instead of turning them forward. Lifting the arms out, shoulder height here, and then sink the hips down. So that front leg bends a little bit. Take care to keep the knee in line with the ankle. And gaze down the left middle finger. So planting the feet firmly down. Again, relax the gaze. This pose, almost pretend like someone's pulling on either sides of those arms. So you lengthen through the chest, through the arms. Great, release the hands all the way down, go the opposite side. We'll turn that left foot in, right foot turns out. Warrior two, opposite side, arms out shoulder height. Sink down in the legs. Lift the chest and gazes down that right middle finger this time. Now, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly or your balance is off, no worries. You can step in a little bit closer. Shorten your stance. Drop the shoulders away from ears. Keep breathing here throughout your poses. One more breath. Great, release those arms down, turning the toes in. Walk yourself to the center of your mat, and then come all the way to the front, scooping the arms up for a big breath in. Exhale, swan dive, arms out to the side, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale down, and inhale, rise. Arms overhead, baby back bend if you wish, and palms together. So in honor of Earth Day today, we are doing our tree pose. If you'd like to find a wall or some support for your balance, you can definitely do that. We'll start with our right leg down, bending the knee just a little bit. Left heel will come off the mat, and then take that left knee and turn it out to the side. So that opens up the hip here. Placing the left heel on the ankle. This can be your tree pose to start out with. If you're using support, just grab onto the wall or the side of a table if that works. If you want a little bit more balancing challenge for your tree, that foot can come up onto the calf. Just avoid the kneecap. You don't want to put any pressure there. Keep drawing the knee out to the side. Palms can come together, heart center. Or if you want to, you can grow a branch out. You can grow true branches. But here, lifting the chest, really planting that standing foot down. And if you want to go a little bit higher for tree pose, you'll place that foot onto the thigh. Still opening up the knee. And if you're wobbling around, it's okay. Find a spot that's a couple feet in front of you. Fix your gaze there. It might be just a little dot on your floor. It might be a photo or a candle that you can fix your gaze, fix your focus, right? In life, sometimes we lose focus of what's in front of us because there's so much going on around us. So see if you can relax your gaze there. Engage the core, tighten the belly. Right, release the hands, release the feet, shaking them out, stepping up the feet if you need to. We'll go the opposite side. So left foot down, bend the knee a little bit. Right knee turns out this time. And the heel will go on to the shin. Start here first. If you go too far, it's kind of like a house. You need to get that foundation first. So have your foundation. Once you feel stable with that, if you want to try lifting the leg a little bit onto the calf, you can do that. Fixing your gaze. If you want to bring the foot up again. And if you're going up to the thigh, pressing the thigh and pressing the foot into each other, almost like when your palms meet, they're both pressing into one another. That's a good way to think of this one as well. Another fun fact for this one, your pinky toe actually provides a lot of your balance support. So if you can imagine your toes right now, focus on your big toe, focus on your pinky, and flatten those down, almost like frogs have those webbed feet. Pressing that foot down into the earth, lifting the chest. You want to grow a branch or two, you can do that. Bring the palms back, bring the legs all the way down, shaking out your feet, shaking out the legs. Great balance work, everyone. Coming back to the front of your mat, scoop those arms up. Big breath here. Exhale, arms out to the side, fold forward. Step back to the back of your mat. Come down to your knees here. So this is a great opportunity. If you have your blanket and you do have knee sensitivity, you can use that blanket rolled up just a little bit here on your knees. If you don't have a blanket handy, you can also take your mat and fold it, and that will give you a little bit more cushion as well. So there's those two options for you. But here, we'll place the tops of the feet onto the mat, going into our camel pose. So here, there's a lot of different variations. If you're using a block, you can place that in between the feet here. If you don't have a block, don't worry. I'll show you lots of options. So here, planting the knees down, we'll take the shoulders and squeeze them back. Placing the palms down on the low back, so the fingers are turned downwards. Right, lifting the chest here. And this is a back bend. but it's not as scary as some of you might think. So squeezing the shoulders, you're just gonna lift the chest and lean back. So this is option number 1 here. Camel pose, lifting the chest almost like you're popping off buttons on your shirt. If your head and neck allow, or if it's comfortable and you have no pain or pinching, you can send the head and neck back, lifting the chin up. The other option, if you're using a block, and you can go one hand at a time, is reaching with one hand back to your block. Or if you've done the yoga pose before, you can reach down at your ankle. Taking full breaths here. This really opens up the chest, especially right now with so much news and so much stuff going on in the world. We forget that full breath. Sometimes our chest feels tight. So this really opens it up, allows more breath. And then to come out, simply release the spine back to neutral. Round the spine a little bit here, tucking the head down. Just move very slowly. Come back up to center, and we'll do camel pose one more time. So if that way you did your block with one hand, you can go the other side. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, pushing the hips forward, reaching with the chest. And if you're doing hands, you can reach the other hand down onto the block or the ankle. Good. Keep reaching the chest forward. Head and neck can release back if that feels comfortable. Chin up. Full breaths here. Even through this pose, through our back bend, you're going to breathe through the belly. I know it feels a little bit different, but see if you can really focus on expanding that rib cage. Take another breath here. And release the hands, release the body back up to center. Move really slowly, rounding the spine. Drop the head. And come back up to neutral. Great. Release your block if you have that one. You can release your blanket as well. Remove that. And we'll come all the way down to our mats into an extended child's pose or child's pose. So dropping the knees out to the side, toes touching. Send the hips all the way back. Arms can reach forward here, or they can be relaxed at your side. And you drop your head down to the mat here. If that's not comfortable, you can use your block or support and let your head rest there. Draw the hips down towards the heels. And just find a moment here to come to that 2-part breath again. Noticing where the body is at. Maybe different than when you started your practice. Maybe a little bit more calm. Or maybe that thing you've been worrying about for a while kind of disappeared for a few moments. Just allowing your body to be on the mat, feeling that breath, the belly rise and fall. And noticing if there's any tension left in your body. Are your shoulders stiff? Is your back sore? Or maybe the hips are feeling it here. Whatever it is, let your breath come into the body, breathing in some goodness and space. And on your exhale, releasing any negativity, any stress, any tension you're holding in the body. All right, take another full breath here. And releasing any props you might have. We'll come all the way up to our mats. Coming down to a seat here. Oh, there's one more pose I wanted to do. I'm sorry. We'll go back to our mats from your child's pose. We'll shift the hips forward here, coming all the way down to the mats on our bellies. So here, tops of your toes We'll touch the mat. Bring the arms down by your side. Palms are going to be open, so the tops of your hands go down to the mat. Your chin or your forehead can rest in front of you. And here, really press the hip bones down into the mat. We're going into our locust pose here. This one also helps lengthen and strengthen the back of the body, lengthening out the spine. So just take a few breaths here. Grounding the hip bones down. And on your next inhale, lift the chest and the head off the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Lift the hands behind you. And if able, lifting the feet and the legs off the ground. So this is your locust pose. Try to keep the head neutral here. Don't tilt it or don't tuck it. Just keep it long, straight. Keep reaching behind you with those fingers. Release all the way down to your mat. On your next inhale, come up again. Chest and head lifts. Squeeze the shoulders. Reach the fingers. Long spine. Remember your breath here. Breathe at your own pace. And release all the way down to the mat. Good. And one more locust pose. Reaching the chest forward. The arms back. Press the hip bones down. Great. Release all the way down. And now pressing onto your side. Come back into your table. And now we'll go all the way down to the mats. Seated butterfly, also known as bound angle pose. Touching the heels together, toes touching. Knees will come nice and wide. You can kind of move side to side here if you like. Maybe fluttering your butterfly wings if that's comfortable. If this one does feel tight on the hips, feel free to take the feet a little bit farther in front of you. That will release some of that pressure. Another option is to use your block or your blanket, and you can also use that underneath the thigh for support. Great. So sit up nice and tall here. Then take that right leg long in front of us, and then bring the left foot in a little bit closer if you're able to. Now notice my knee does not touch the ground. That's okay. You don't need it to. Use a block or a blanket, or if it's comfortable there, you can have that as well. The long leg in front of you, feel free to bend that if you have any knee issues. Otherwise, sitting up tall here, reaching the arms up overhead for an inhale. On your exhale, hinge forward, and then let your chest drop down, maybe grabbing onto the ankle, the calf, or the foot. Let your body fold over. And again, if you have any tightness or pinching in the knee here, simply bend the knee a little bit. So from the side, your leg will have a little bit of gap between that and the floor. If you're able to bring the head down a little bit deeper, a little bit closer to the leg, you can try that. And here, imagine that tailbone reaching back, reach the heart forward. Relax the shoulders. And if you'd like a little bit deeper stretch in the back of the leg or IT band, you can take the extended leg, flexing the toes out or flexing the toes in towards you. Take another full breath here. And slowly walking the hands back up to center. We'll switch out our legs. Good. Sit up nice and tall here. Opposite leg in front. Reaching arms up overhead for an inhale. Exhale, fold down. Again, bend the knee if you need to. It gives you a little bit more space. And take a full breath. Seeing if you can melt a little bit deeper. Maybe focusing on the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. Noticing the stillness and silence again in the body and the breath. Take another full breath here, in and out. And gently walk the hands back up to center. Good. Come all the way down to your mat. We'll go into one of our twists here. Coming all the way down onto your backs, drawing the knees in towards the chest. Maybe rocking side to side if that feels good. Shoulder blades touch down. And release the legs long in front of you. Now we'll draw that left leg in towards the chest. Good. Maybe placing the hands below the knee. And that right hip will gently tug under. So you can scooch the right leg under a little bit while you simply bring the left leg over to the right side. So you're twisting the body here. Keep the shoulder blades down. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can bring the arms out, shoulder height. And your gaze can go the opposite direction than your knees. So turning the head over to the left if your knees to the right. This is a reclined spinal twist. Finding your breath here. Letting your body feel heavy on the mat. And eyes can be opened or closed. Use a block underneath the knee if you need an extra support there. Take another full breath in. And on the exhale, release all the way out. Coming back to center. Switching out those legs. The left leg comes all the way down. Right knee comes in towards the chest. This time taking that left hip, tuck it under a little. And your right leg will go over to the opposite side. It's okay if you did one side before, as long as you do both sides. Arms can be out like a T, shoulder height. And gaze can be over that right shoulder this time. If you want a full spinal twist. And if you notice here, my knee does not quite touch the ground. So this is where you could use a block here. You can also extend that leg on top. If you want to reach it out long, or you can bend it, your choice. And if there's any tension left in the low back, any tension left in the middle of your back or upper back, seeing if you can twist that out a little now, releasing some of that tension. Great, and coming back to center, bringing the knees in, drawing them nice and close. Maybe rocking side to side again if that feels good. We'll prepare for our final Shavasana or resting pose. So here, if you'd like, you can use a blanket. You can also put socks on if that feels comfortable. The blanket just gives you a little bit added comfort or warmth, a little bit extra weight on top if that feels good. Arms can be out to your side if you'd like, palms open to receive anything from your practice that you might need. Tuck the chin a little here, elongating the spine. And gently closing the eyes. Now it's still pretty bright where I'm at, but here you can also use an eye pillow or an eye mask if you have that. That helps the nerves behind your eyes. Give a little bit of pressure there to relax the nervous system. So if you're feeling stressed out, you can try that. Or the extra blanket on top of you. Letting the shoulder blades melt down. We'll spend a few moments here in stillness. You can come back to that normal breathing that you had when you first started class. You can do your 2-part breath, whatever feels comfortable for you now. And soaking in during the springtime, during our Earth Day celebration, Earth Month, soaking in what you might need a little bit more of now that it's spring and there's new beginnings, new life, new growth. What can you use more of in your life? What can you grow? What do you need to cultivate? And there might be some things that come to mind. There might not be. That's fine. Just let it be wherever it's at. If you can't think of anything now, I'm sure something might come up later. And then along with growing, there's always that pruning season. There's always pulling weeds or getting rid of old leaves or debris. So maybe translating into your life, what do you need less of? Or what can you get rid of that no longer serves you, that's not for your best interest? So take a few moments here in stillness and silence, letting your body, letting your mind absorb all the benefits from your practice today. And now coming back to the awareness with the body, maybe moving the toes or the fingers, maybe the wrist, gently rocking the head and neck side to side. It feels good. You can reach the arms long overhead for a full body stretch. And when you're ready, drawing the knees in towards the chest and lean over to whichever side feels best for you, left or right. Drawing the knees in, come to your side, and you can keep the eyes closed or you can keep them open. You're going to open them now. Come all the way back up into a seated position, returning to where we began class, returning to the beginning of our journey today. And sitting up nice and tall here. Together, reaching up arms overhead for an inhale. Exhale, press down to your side. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, bring the arms up. This time pressing the palms and fingers together Bring them all the way down to heart center. Thank you each one for joining me today. Peace. Thank you, everyone. And now you will come back on the screen if you have any questions or comments. You can let me know.
That was great.
Yeah, thank you, Kristina.
Wonderful. Good. I'm so glad you could join.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow, that was. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm so glad you liked it.
Yep. Thank you very much. And thank you, Taina, for setting this all up.
Yes.
My pleasure. I'm glad it served you all.
She had all the blurbs at the bottom with
Thank
the
you.
posters.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
That
nice.
was awesome.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Awesome, everyone. Take care.
Take care, friends.
Taina, you have a new venture producing online video.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Your spare time.
So good to see your faces. Have a good night. Thanks,
Bye,
Kristina.
everybody.
Everyone.
Bye.
Stay well.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
you.